words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Hello, welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I'm your host, Verdel Jones. Being an educator at heart, I'm dedicated to sharing conversations that inform and enlighten in the hopes that you learn something you may not have known. We have an awesome show for you today. I'm so excited. As you can see, I have some products here. We're going to be talking to the owner of Nature's Beauty Mix. She's going to come on in a little bit, but before we get started, and also I have a very, very special guest today. Miya Jones is going to be here, new graduate from Temple University, TU. So we're very excited about that. Jeremiah and I are so proud of her, and we're going to be talking about the transition from high school to college, and then from college to the workforce. So the goal is a job, basically. So that's what we're going to be talking about with Miya, that transition and how she kind of set herself up to make sure that she's able to get a job once she graduated. So before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know a couple of things. The first thing I want to mention is we're always looking for sponsors for the show. So if you have an event or if you have a product that you're interested in, sharing with individuals, you can contact me right there. The contact information is there for the Conversations with Verdel Jones show. So, hit me up, give me a call. You can find me on Facebook. We have a Conversations with Verdel Jones Facebook page. Verdel Jones Facebook, Deli Teach Facebook. You can, contact me in all those places. Plus the email is there as well. The other thing that I want to mention, we have an event coming up June 10th. That's on a Sunday at Touro Law College in Central Islip, New York. It's called the Write, Rhyme, and Recite Collective, and we're going to be celebrating young poets and highlighting authors. And that's all the information about the event. But I really wanted to take the opportunity to kind of let you know about who is actually going to be in the house that day. First, I want to let you know that we have 3 students that we selected because during this event, we're going to be doing a poetry slam competition. We picked 3 students already. One is from Central Islip High School. That's my alma mater. One is from Westbury High School, and one is from Walt Whitman High School. And when I tell you these kids are amazing and talented, they really, really are. So we're looking forward to hearing those students. The top scholarship is $1,500. The audience is going to pick the first, second, and third place winner. So we are so excited about that. But let me get to the authors. So our first author is Malik Canty. He is a professional spoken word artist. He writes books of poetry, powerful poetry. Tears from My Ancestors is one of his books. Poetic Fire is another, and more. You could see all of his books there. So he's going to be in the house. He's going to do a special presentation for us. He'll be able to talk to the students who are poets themselves, looking to get to that level he's at currently. So you can check him out. We have Daniel Gaspard. She wrote a book about repairing your credit. And I know everybody can use a little help with their credit. So she has a book called I Can Repair My Credit All by Myself. And it gives you info about credit bureaus and tips on improving credit. And then we'll have also Phoenix Love. Phoenix Love wrote a book called If I Should Die Before I Wake, Your Journey to Awakening Your Calling. And it's a healing tool and solution-focused guide to help motivate you to be the best you can be. Then we have Martine Mayaz. Now, this is a really interesting book. We met Martine at the Got Curl Expo. And, she wrote a book in reference to women and their challenges and their stories focused on uterine fibroids. And, a lot of women go through this issue. And she wrote a book to talk about her journey and how to really, heal yourself from fibroids. Then we have Nicole Martin. Nicole Martin has wrote several books, and they're called the Venomous Mind series, and each volume focuses on its own message, from first love to teen pregnancy to absentee father situations and more. So she's going to be there with all of her Venomous Mind series. And then this just in, our last author maybe not our last, but the next author, Monique Young, she wrote a book called It Worked for Me, Tips for Raising Millennial Daughters. So I was very intrigued by this book because, raising millennials is not easy. So her book has an approach where she tells, some personal stories about raising her 3 millennial daughters. So we're excited to have her. And we also may have another author joining us. So I'm talking to him tonight, and hopefully he'll confirm, and we'll have another artist, another author as well. So we're really excited. So let's get into the show. And as you can see, I have a very special guest with me, Janine Arshan.
Yes.
Yes, and she is the owner of Nature's Beauty Mix. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Good, good. So we have some of your products here. We're going to be focusing a little bit on your products. Let me just move them in the middle so they could get a good view of you. We're going to be talking about your products, but before we do that, can you tell me how you got started? What intrigued you to start your own business focused on these types of products?
Well, I started because I stopped using relaxers in my hair because of the controversy about chemicals and how dangerous they can be for you and your health,
Right.
and also damaging to your hair.
Right.
So I began, going to my local beauty supply store and searching the aisles for products. And I bought some, and they didn't work for my hair. And also I did some more research, and I found products they say that were good for your hair,
Right.
like certain plant oils, like castor oil and avocado oil and shea butter.
Right.
And I purchased these products, and sometimes they have one or the other. And then I heard about sulfates and parabens.
Right.
And,
Yes.
yeah, how they're linked to different health issues.
Right. And the thing is, like, it's interesting because they said the skin is the largest organ.
Yes.
So anything you put on your skin is absorbed into your body.
Yes.
So, like you were saying, all of these dangerous chemicals are being absorbed in the skin.
Yes.
Yeah, and so there weren't any products that kind of were out there that met your needs, basically.
Right. Exactly. So I started purchasing like the raw ingredients.
Right. Okay.
And mixing it myself, and then I know what's in the product that I'm using.
That's right.
In my hair, and I understand that there are products that are on the shelves that they say is not on the labels because they don't have to list it because
okay.
Because it's they're protected by trade secrets.
So some harmful chemicals that may be in certain items you might not even know.
Yes.
Wow.
They're not required
That's
to
scary.
list it. Yes, that is very scary.
That's very scary. So what type of products do you actually do you produce? And you make all of your products?
Yes, I do.
Wow, that's fascinating. So what type of products do you make?
Well, right now what I have here, I make products for the hair and skin, and it's specifically designed for kinky, coily, and curly hair.
Okay, okay. I love that.
Yes.
I'm a we met at the at the Got Curl Expo, which was amazing because it was so many different products that really. I'm a product junkie when it comes to all things hair, natural hair care. So I'll, buy just about anything just to test it out.
Yes.
Because what I found with curly hair, you use a product and then sometimes it stops working, so you have to change it up a little bit. So what is we're going to talk about, some of the products more specifically, but what would you say is the most desired product from your customers?
Right now is the flaxseed hair gel.
Okay.
I have got a lot of compliments and how it works on the hair, and it brings out the curl definition, no flaking, and it also conditions the hair.
So it's made out of flaxseed oil?
Gel. I mean, it's the seed.
The seed. So what is your process like? So in other words, you develop the product based on a need that somebody may have. So how do you go about manufacturing, you know, that I don't want you to give away your secrets.
Right.
But, you know, what is that process like for you? Like, how long does it take for you to you know, get these products to market? Like, you know?
Well, I bring the flax seeds together and then
Right.
I put it in water. It's boiled.
Okay.
And a gel forms.
Oh, okay.
And I like the gel to be really, really thick so it can help all hair types.
Okay. Okay.
Because if it's too loose, then might not work for some hair types.
Okay, so the consistency is important.
Yes,
Yeah, all
and
right.
you have to watch it to make sure it gets to the right consistency, and then it's strained from the seed.
Okay.
The gel.
So all of your products are natural products.
Yes.
Okay. And so you said you have the hair care, it's a hair care line, basically. Any skin care?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. So you have skin care also.
Yes.
Like the gels and body washes. I noticed you have some body washes. So let's talk a little bit about the products that you have displayed. I also have a great picture of all the products. If we could just show the products, because we're going to show your contact information as well at the end so people can buy your products, because that's what we want them to do.
Right.
But I wanted to kind of give people an idea of what they could see when they go to your website. So a couple of products that you were talking about you wanted to focus on was the flaxseed hair pudding, styling cream, the honey flaxseed gel, which we just talked about, the whipped coconut body butter, and the cotton candy aloe body wash. So those are a few of the products. So we do have the products here. So if you can give us a little idea of, because you know when you get these products, you're really, I know for me, sometimes I'm not sure how to use them, how much I should use, what should be the result of that specific product. So if you can just go over a little bit about these products so we can kind of get an idea of how to use them, what people can expect when they use them. You know, we'll talk a little bit about, we'll start with whatever one you want to start with.
Okay. Right here we have the Golden Sands aloe body wash. A lot of people love the scent. It also goes along, I mean, you're supposed to wash your body with a sponge.
Okay.
So you put a little bit in the sponge, and when you're showering or taking a bath, and you rub it all over your skin.
Okay.
And it's supposed to soften your skin, condition your skin. And like you said, the skin is the largest part of your body,
Right,
so you don't have to
exactly,
worry
largest
about
organ.
soaking chemicals into
your body.
Yes.
So this is aloe, you
Yes,
said, right?
yes.
All right, what else do we have?
Once you rinse off, you can do the whipped body butter.
Okay.
So it's going to add moisture to your skin.
And that's this right here.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're not only going to feel soft and clean, but you're also going to smell good.
Let me smell this. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And so this is made out of, now what is this, shea butter?
Yes,
Okay.
and coconut oil.
And coconut oil.
Yes.
And how long does it last on your skin?
All day.
Nice. Okay. All right, what else you have?
Okay, so this is another flavor of scents. This is cotton candy.
And that's a body wash as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have different scents with these, this body care collection, you know, earthy, perfumey, and floral.
Oh, okay.
scents.
Okay. So
And-
this is more like a sweet, I would
Yeah,
assume, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
So some people prefer different scents.
Yes,
you know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also this is for the hair.
Okay.
And this is my bestseller, the honey flaxseed gel.
Okay.
It's made with flaxseed,
Flaxseed,
and also it has castor oil in it. It also has rosemary and lavender essential oils.
Now, why those two items in there?
Okay, rosemary is good for hair growth and prevents hair loss.
Okay.
And lavender, it calms the scalp, and it also promotes hair growth.
Okay.
And also my products with essential oils, it also has aromatherapy. So it not
So the
only
lavender's
does
good
it,
for that,
yes,
right?
it makes you feel good too.
Okay. Okay.
And smell good.
Okay. Nice.
Yes.
Let me see this. This is what I'm interested in. I'm telling you, I'm a sucker for hair products. This is really cool. Okay. And were there any other?
And this is the flaxseed hair pudding.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you use, and that's the other thing. Like I was saying, when you had a pretty good description of your products there, and I appreciate that because you need to know how to use them. So you use after you wash your hair, you would use the flaxseed gel?
Yes.
And then the pudding, or vice versa?
Well, sometimes you can use a combination.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. And what does that do for your hair?
Okay, this conditions your hair.
Oh, okay. So it's everyday conditioner?
Yeah, you can do
okay.
it as a styler and add moisture, especially with people with dry hair and stuff.
Exactly.
So this is also good. You could do a twist out with it.
Oh, okay.
And it's a styling aid, and it softens and it molds your hair also.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it gives a very, very light hold.
It's very light hold, right? Flaxseed hair pudding. And what is the same? And what kind of ingredients are rosemary is in here also?
Nettle, burdock, horsetail.
Okay, nice. That's awesome. I mean, how long have you been in business?
Well, I've been in business over a year.
Oh, so you're a little new.
Yes.
And so how is it being in business? I also, when I have business owners, on the show, I always ask them why did they get started? I mean, you wanted to fulfill a need that you couldn't find, but was there any other reason you wanted to be in business for yourself?
For myself, well, family and friends, they use my products. They say, "Oh, you should sell it."
Okay. Okay. Oh, so you started making them before you even started your business?
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Nice.
And I started selling at local fairs and flea markets, and just to get a feel of anybody be interested.
See what the market was like, right? Yeah. And it's a big market. It's a multi-billion-dollar market. There's a lot of players in the game. So what would you tell our viewers about your products and why they should? And we're going to show the contact information in a minute. But why should they go onto your website and buy your products? And where else can they get them? Can they get them anywhere else besides your website?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Where can they get them?
Okay, they can get it on Amazon.com. Amazon.
Okay. Oh, great.
And I'm also on Etsy.com.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so they can get them in your website, Amazon, and Etsy.
Yes.
Okay. And like I said, there's a lot of players in the market. So what would you tell them is the reason they should buy Nature's Beauty Mix products?
Okay. A lot of people are not aware that many products that are targeted to African American or are laced with chemicals that they don't know about. And
Interesting.
It causes early puberty,
Wow.
breast cancer, and endometriosis.
Right, I got you. Yeah.
And hormonal imbalances. And you can trust assured that my products do not have any of those chemicals.
Okay, that alone is a reason for you guys to check out Nature's Beauty Mix, because that's very scary. And you know what? It's very interesting that those, like you said, products there's so many products out there that are targeted to, curly hair, African Americans, and all of that. And you don't know what's in them.
No, you don't.
Right. So this is definitely something that we need to know about, and I'm so happy that you mentioned all of the things that could happen by using products that could be unsafe.
Yes. Also, I offer beauty tips and the benefits of using natural beauty products and the dangers of not using natural beauty products. I have on my blog, on my website, and also on my social media platforms. I also teach people about that.
Okay. Well, we're going to show some of the contact information for Nature's Beauty Mix. I think we have most of your social media outlets on there. Are they called outlets? I think so. Social media platforms. We have your social media platforms on there. As you stated, people can buy your products on your website. They can also buy them on Amazon, and they can buy them on Etsy as well. So with your blog, they can go to your blog from your website?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here and sharing your products with us. I mean, as I said, just that little piece of information that you gave us, not knowing what's in the products that we use and knowing that yours are natural or is priceless.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for the work you do.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to encourage everybody to check out Nature's Beauty Mix, and I'm sure you'll be pleased with the product. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, it was nice having you.
You too.
All
Thanks
right.
for meeting you.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to show, I wrote a book. So we're going to show the parent agent.
How do I get my child into the best college? Why is early planning imperative in the college process? In her new book, The Parent Agent, Verdel Jones answers these questions and more. What does it mean to be a parent agent? As a parent agent, you represent your child to help them get into the college of their choice. Strategies learned in this book will help you create opportunities for your child that will develop them into successful individuals. Verdel Jones is an experienced educator with over 20 years' experience. She has personally visited hundreds of college campuses and holds extensive knowledge about the higher education selection process and has helped hundreds of students. She has also successfully been a parent agent for her own children. In her new book, The Parent Agent, you will be given concrete information on how to visit colleges, learn why knowing your child is critical in finding the right college, understand why starting early can make all the difference in keeping your child on track for higher education, gain an understanding of the financial aid process, and discover steps needed to financially plan for college expenses. You will also receive useful resources and checklists to keep you organized and focused. All of this information and more is contained in Verdel Jones's new book, The Parent Agent. So let this book be your guide through the college process to get to the end goal, your child enrolling into the college of their choice. To get your copy of The Parent Agent, go to deliteach.com and order your book today.
Hi, welcome back. As you can see, I have another special guest with me, Miya Jones, my daughter. Let me just take some of this stuff off camera here. Okay, here we go. So we just got finished wrapping up a great conversation with Janine. She's the owner of Nature's Beauty Mix. She has some awesome products. I have one right here that I will be using. I'm so excited to try it. Today what we're going to do though is we also wanted to focus on the transition from high school to college. And once again, I just want to congratulate our daughter Miya Jones for graduating from Temple University. Woo, 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 woo. So I thought, it would be a great idea to kind of go over, this is like the season of transition. Right? So there's a lot going on as far as transition from high school to college, from college to the workforce. So what we wanted to do was kind of give parents some information to help their children. I'm the parent agent. So we want to give parents some information about the transition from high school to college, because I think it's so important to know what you're getting into as far as that transition is concerned. So first I want to say, Miya, thank you very much for coming to the studio.
Of course. I'm always down to come to the studio.
You're right, I know. So, this, like I said, there's a lot of graduations. Everybody's posting their graduations up on Facebook.
Graduation glam shots.
Graduation.
All over.
Let's not talk about the graduation glam shots.
Hate.
Wait, just a little
Don't
sidebar?
Hate. No, see, she's about to hate.
So Marcus, our son, he takes photos. He's pretty good at it. So Miya had to do her own photo shoot on campus, and I mean it was probably about 45 minutes long.
Okay, it wasn't that long. Okay.
But anyway, so make sure you get your glam shots for.
You gotta get your glam
gotta
shots.
get your
You
glam
worked
shots.
for hard,
That's right.
long years for them.
That's right. So get those glam shots.
You earned them.
All right. So what we're going to talk about a few things that I think are so important for your child going into college to actually know. Okay. So the first one that I really want to kind of stress is getting involved. Right. So I always mention Lanita Halston. She wrote a book called The College Strategy. She talks about transferable skills. I also mentioned, and we're going to get to that in just a minute, Felicia Fort. She wrote a book called The Mentor Model. I'd like to talk about her too, because we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about a little more than that, but those two things are so important.
Right.
So talk about your experience about getting involved.
Well, I kind of got involved a little late, I'm not going to lie.
In college.
In college. I got involved a little later, like freshman year, I kind of took my time and slept. But sophomore year, I got involved, and it's important to do that because when you're in college, you're basically building up your resume for your job.
Yeah.
For your job.
Right.
So while in college, you can't just laze around. If you did that in high school, no. Push that to the side. You have to work, because the stuff that you do in college that's going to come up on your resume is what you're going to use to help you get a job.
So so you said that in your freshman year you didn't get involved. Why didn't
As much as I should have.
Right.
Probably.
But see, this is the thing. So a lot of students, when they're in high school, if they're involved in high school, they're usually going to be involved in college. You know,
Right.
You were wicked involved in high school.
Right.
So what happened? And we're talking about transition. What happened between you leaving high school and you going into college in your freshman year?
Well, there was less structure.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know, when you're in high school, you're in school for the majority of the day. You have
True.
periods 1 through 9, and you go through the periods, and you're always doing something.
Right.
And then you might have an
Right.
activity at sport, like I did afterwards. So it's a lot more structured. Once you get to
true.
college, you set your own schedule more
Right.
so. So
Okay.
if you're going to be involved, you have to plan it for yourself. Your teachers aren't going to,
Hey,
push
join this
you
activity.
to be,
Right.
not necessarily going to push you to be in these activities. You have to kind of take the initiative yourself.
That's
And I
interesting.
kind of took the initiative to sleep. I had to catch my beauty sleep.
So, what you're saying is, parents can share with their children that it's a less structured environment.
Yeah.
So you really have to navigate that less structured environment and
Yes.
focus on getting involved.
Yeah.
Forcing yourself to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. But even though you were not as involved as you would have liked to have been in your freshman year of college, you still were able to get an internship.
Right.
Right, in your the
summer
after your freshman year. So let's just talk a little bit about when you did get involved. How did you? What happened? Like how did you make that shift from not being as involved as you thought you should have been? And you were doing a few things in freshman year, but
like so basically, I just started going to meetings. Like they would have like the Black Student Union meetings on Mondays. I would go to those, and then I would hear about different clubs and organizations from there. And then I would just go to meetings because people always post on their Instagram, their social,
Okay.
or just even on the college boards on campus, like different events, different meetings. So just go to the meetings, get a feel for what the club is like.
Aren't there like don't they do? I know in high school they call them like activity, or middle school they call them activity fairs. Is there something like that in college?
Yeah. So basically, at Temple they had I forget if it's called Temple Fest. It's
Oh, okay.
basically where like all the organizations have tables outside, and they pitch their organization to the
Right.
incoming freshmen.
Right,
So
right.
times like that those are great times to really like go through the different organizations and get a feel for what you might want to get involved in.
Right. So in other words, when they give you that opportunity to be able to be in a club, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And then,
yeah.
okay, you got to go for it. So I guess we could say like tip number 1, get involved.
Get involved. Yes. Be active.
Be active. And the reason I mentioned Lanita Halston in the college strategy is because she wrote a book in reference to gaining those transferable skills.
Right.
And what that actually means is skills that you can transfer to the workplace once you are looking for a job,
Right.
basically.
Right.
So being involved in those organizations, because eventually you did get involved.
Right.
You were on,
Yeah.
you were in a lot of different things in college. Starting your sophomore year, you really got involved.
Yeah.
So what do you think are some of the transferable skills you gained from being engaged in those activities?
Well, there's a lot of skills that can be transferable, such as good communication. Good communication can get you far with whatever you want to do.
Right.
Also, being a good listener. That's also another transferable
But
skill.
how did that happen in those activities?
Well, with those activities, I joined the Temple Association of Black Journalists. So
Tab J.
within, there you go. So within that, you have to learn to also teamwork also because
Okay.
when you get in the e-board, you have to learn to communicate with the different e-board members, and you have to learn to work together as a team to put together programs.
What are e-board?
E-board is basically the
Executive
board.
Okay.
Basically, so like you know the president, the treasurer, the vice president
of the organization. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
And you guys have to teamwork. So you said teamwork,
communication,
patience,
patience, patience.
And really planning,
Definitely.
because you guys planned events, as well. And one of the things that I thought was also a great experience is you being on the Vibe. So the Vibe, explain what the Vibe is and how you gain transferable skills doing something that you enjoyed, but now you can use that to show potential employers that you have those skills. So a little bit about that.
So the Vibe at Temple is it was a show at my school. One of my friends, she created it, and I was one of the executive producers on the show. And with that, you definitely learn, again, teamwork, collaboration, communication as well, all those skills. Right. And also communicating with, guests and things of that nature. So you learn how to talk to people.
Right.
You learn how to communicate with people, which if you know how to talk to people and you know how to treat people, it can get you very far in life in general.
They say it's not what you know, but who you know. But it is a little bit about what you know.
Yeah,
too.
you have to know what you're doing, obviously. But who you know can really make the difference.
And how you treat people. I think that was key. How you treat people.
Exactly.
So, a couple of tips. We got tip number 1 was get involved as soon as you can. The second thing I think is gaining transferable skills. So you and Lanita Halston, the college strategy, pick that up. She talks about these transferable skills, and as Miya kind of outlined, she shared some of those transferable skills. So when she gets ready to write her resume to look for a job, she can draw on those transferable skills and say, I know how to do this, this, and this, based on the activities that I was involved in.
Right.
So that's big. It's key.
Yes.
To get involved. Academics is very important in college, right? How did you do this?
I did
semester?
good. I got A's and 1B+.
Oh, whoa!
So I ended this semester with a bang.
Oh, nice. And for parents out there, students don't have to show you their grades. Just saying. I remember one semester.
Oh God.
Miya, we asked her.
God.
Miya kept avoiding the question, so I finally, had to pin her down and what did you do? How did you do in the grade? She got a bad grade. And
first time for everything.
My goodness. Of course, I went crazy, but.
But this is another good important piece of advice. Grades don't make the person. Okay, because once you get out of college, those grades don't matter. But the skills you got, that's what's going to matter.
Okay, I'm going to beg to differ.
Listen, I'm just saying.
But you can't go to a job and they see your transcript and you got a 2.5
Jobs
GPA.
don't look at
Oh, yes, they do.
Since when?
Since they do.
They don't care about the GPA.
Oh.
If you don't listen, if your GPA isn't where you want it
who's had more
to
jobs?
be at where it's at, don't put it on your resume. I'm just saying.
But they may ask for your transcript. They may ask for your
transcript. They may, but they
they
care about the concrete.
They may ask for your transcript for verification of graduation, right?
Right.
And when they look at that transcript and they see bad grades, they're going to be like, oh, this person doesn't have the commitment. They may, or say, for example, I like potential employee A and B. They're both equal. I can hire both of these people. But they look at the transcript and one has a 2.5 and the other has a 3.2.
I'm just saying from my perspective, because a lot of the time students get overwhelmed and they have mental breakdowns over their grades. So what I'm saying is...
Okay.
If you get one bad grade, it's not the end of the world.
Right, and I agree with that. If you get one bad grade, it's not the end of the world. But your overall GPA should be a solid GPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you have a decent GPA. It's not like, people are going to look at your transcript and be like,
Yeah,
oh, what
no,
was you
no,
doing? You know?
No, you should have a solid GPA, but that's
Yeah.
not the most important thing.
Right. You want to get
isn't.
a lot of things out of college.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. So the next thing, right? We talked about transferable skills. We talked about getting involved early on. But there's some other things that I think are key. And I had a young man that was on the show a while ago. His name is James Jadot. And he got an internship straight away at, his freshman year. And he stressed the importance of really going to your career center in college and getting there quickly. And being able to meet the people there and talk to them and all of that. So share a little bit about how, even as a freshman, students should take advantage of the Career Center on their college campus.
Well, the Career Center is a really good resource to have. At my school, Luann Khan, love her. She runs the Career Services Center, and they have resume reviews. So if you have a resume, they can look it over for you. You can do.
Will they do a resume for you?
Well, they do.
Will they create a resume for you?
They'll work with you to
They'll
create
work with
a resume.
you to create it. Okay, gotcha.
They'll have
okay.
mock interviews, things of that nature. So if you're nervous for a job or an internship interview, they'll go through it with you, give you tips, how to act, how to speak, how to, convey your skills to the employer.
Oh, okay.
And there's just a lot of good, and they also have connections.
They have connections.
The people who run those career centers, oftentimes they're in that position for a reason. They have careers in the thing that you want to do.
Okay.
So they have connections.
They have
and a
connections.
long career, most of the time, usually, that can help you out.
Okay. So get to know your career counselor or someone in the career center or just to because like you said, the mock interviews I thought was a great way. Miya had an interview a couple days after she came home from graduation. Before she left Philly, she went to the Career Center to do a mock interview, and I think that was very helpful. So you have to utilize. You have to think of it this way: you pay to go to school, and in that are a lot of different services that you can take advantage of. So
don't waste the money and not use the services.
Right.
You're there, you're paying, like you said, you're paying money for it.
Right. So you might as well use those services.
Right.
Just taking one step back, academics. There are also on campus, and I think parents and students should be aware of this as well, there are opportunities for you to be able to get academic help if you need academic help also.
Right.
They have writing centers. They have so many different opportunities. Tutors, right. And a lot of times students don't take advantage of it.
Right.
Yeah,
and a lot of the times, because students don't take advantage of it, a lot of the time they're open, they're free.
Right. There's nobody there.
Because there's no one there. So you'll get a spot.
You'll get a spot, right? It's true. They don't go.
Yep.
And not only can you get career help and academic help, but Miya alluded to it a little bit in saying that some students struggle mentally,
right? Yeah.
Because of their grades or because of whatever's going on. Right. So all colleges have counselors that you can talk to if you have some kind of issue. So take advantage of that too. Get to know someone there, because
definitely you're gonna want somebody to cry on a shoulder to cry on, or something, because you're gonna go through stressful times, and you're gonna want at least one person
that you can talk to, and it can't be your roommate.
Right. If you want professional good advice. I mean, your friends might be a good judge of character, but I don't know. But if you want professional help, the services are there. The services are there.
Or you can call home, which happens.
Right.
But
yes.
Yeah, it happens.
I've had a few phone calls.
Right. Yeah, it happens.
Yes, it happens.
But and it's okay. So parents,
human.
You are going to hear from your child, and they're going to have that moment, and when they have a total breakdown, and they're going to need your help. So just be prepared for it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
And my thoughts about going into college, I thought it was going to be hard academically.
Yeah.
And it kind of was, but I wasn't prepared for the emotional
good point.
roller coaster that would come with it. I didn't expect that.
Right.
So just I'm not saying you're going to go through traumatic events, but I'm just saying things are going to, things are going to happen.
Things are going to happen.
And they're not going to, things aren't always going to be, roses.
Right. Yeah, because you have to think of it this way. Like you said, there's unstructured time.
Right.
So when there's unstructured time, there's more opportunity for you to do things that you may not normally do. And when they happen, you might not be normally used to them, or, so there's a lot of different things. So that's a great point to bring up. Just be prepared and try to be grounded and get the help that you need when you need that help.
Definitely.
Yeah, and have fun, definitely.
And have fun.
Yeah, definitely have fun. So we talked so we talked about the importance of the Career Center. We talked about getting involved. We talked about those transferable skills and the activities and being able to articulate those skills to a potential employer, because, the goal is to get a job.
Yep.
Like I said earlier in the opening, I said, it's important that you work. So you got to make sure that you get a job. So the other thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about is mentorships, because Felicia Fort, another one of our authors that we had on the author showcase, who I like to highlight, she wrote a book called The Mentor Model. And in her book, she talks about the importance of mentoring, but she also talks about the structure of mentoring and all of that. But I mention that because mentors are so important, and you can get those mentors in college.
Definitely.
You mentioned Luann?
Right. Luann.
Right.
My magazine article, writing professor, Lori Tharps.
Okay.
It's good to have those figures, because, again, like, a lot of the times the professors in your major, they've been doing what they've been doing for most of the time years. Right. So they know what they're doing, and they have connections. Utilize that. Yeah. Give them your business cards. Make that connection, because they can help you in college and beyond.
Right. So you mentioned business cards, right? So as a student, you should have your LinkedIn set up, professional LinkedIn profile set up.
Professional pictures.
Not
selfies.
Not selfies, please. Get one of your friends to take a picture.
Right.
You don't want to be like, you don't want that. You don't want that for your LinkedIn profile. No. All right? So, and Miya used, because I remember when I was in high school, right, when we did senior pictures,
Yep.
I have a picture with like fur around me, and then there's, with the cap and gown, right? It looks ridiculous. So you guys, your pictures, they don't look like that. They look like normal pictures. So even your high school picture, Miya had a great high school picture that she used for a while. For a while. On her LinkedIn page. So do something professional. If you have your high school pictures, something clean, nice. Not a lot of stuff in the background. Right. So if you have a professional picture, use that. If you don't, get someone to take your picture on a plain background.
Right.
Not a selfie.
No.
Right.
No. You won't be taken seriously.
No, you won't. So you need to get the LinkedIn profile. But we also got business cards. So Miya asked for a business card, so we got a business card. It has her contact information on there.
Yep.
And when you go to events and you're meeting different people, they can have your business card.
Whip it out,
and
and you'll look very professional.
Right.
Because it's funny, because I hand out my business card to some people, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you already have a business card?" Like, I don't even have one. So it's a pretty good look.
And for your business card, it could just be your name, your number, and your email address.
And then maybe social media if you want to put that too.
Exactly. All your social, what did I call them? Social media.
Social outlets. Kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Platforms, whatever. But yeah, so it's a good idea to have a business card. Yeah. You want to show your best face, your best professional face.
Right.
To individuals who could potentially help you get employment.
Especially if it's a first impression.
Right. So the mentor. What is the importance of having a mentor? Is it getting advice? Is it bouncing ideas off? Like what's the importance of that?
Well, all of that. I mean, getting advice, like they can help, like having a mentor can help prepare you for the bumps in the road. So if you have them to help guide you, it won't be as bumpy.
Right.
And also, like I said before, they have the connections. And especially if you're a student, people love helping students.
Yeah, they do.
So while you're a student, take advantage of that, because people love helping students.
So we were talking about mentors. I was talking to our son about mentors.
Oh, Marcus.
And, and the importance of having a mentor, how important it is. And I think, for certain individuals, they rely on their friends too much for information, which is fine, because you're going to have friends that
Right.
you rely on for information. But
Right.
what happens is your friends are on the same level as you. So your friends, especially if you're in the same industry, profession,
Right.
your friends are in the same spot you are. They want to get to where you want to get. So how would your friends know how to get to where they want to get to when they're not there yet?
Right. I think that it's good to have, like peers of different ages at different levels in their career, definitely for sure. Because you want to have, those peers, obviously your friends, and
Peers, right.
peers, people,
Yeah.
because they're at the same level.
Right.
They're more likely to work with you and work
And
on
that's-
projects.
and work on projects, and that's what happens with a lot. I mean,
you
you
know.
see, you worked with your friends on projects,
Right.
and Marcus works with his friends on
Right.
projects, even though he's graduated already. So,
Right. So, but like you said, it's also important to have friends in, I guess, if you say higher up places or higher up positions, because they are going to be the ones to really help to pull you up.
Well, let me ask you this, because I remember when you were a freshman, maybe even sophomore, and I was saying to you, you need to get to know your professors, and I think you found it a little bit difficult. But as you went on, I remember this, like all of a sudden, this light bulb, and you were like, "Oh yeah, my professor this and this." So how were you able to make that transition from not knowing your professors to knowing your professors? Is it because you got smaller classes? Like, what happened?
I think that's
Yeah.
a part in it, because as you go on through your college career,
And you're more in your
classes,
major.
and you're more in your major, exactly, you're going to have smaller classes, so it's going to be more intimate. So I think that was a piece, that was a part to play in it.
Right.
And also I think that, I don't know, I just started seeing my professors as not equal, but just in a more casual light.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of the professors, like when you get to college, what threw me off was, "Oh, don't call me professor this, just call me Aaron.
Right.
Just call me Like, I'm like,
Right,
what? Like, this is weird. Like, so that kind of helped, like, put it on, like, more of a peer-ish
Right, I
kind
know
of
what you
level.
mean. Right.
And, like, the subject matters, that when I was interested in the subject matter, I tended to gravitate towards that professor.
More toward that.
So,
okay, all
that
right.
Also.
So now that you've graduated, right?
Yes, can't believe it.
And you've done things. No, it's like some students get depressed when they graduate. I could definitely see that, right?
I can definitely understand that.
Because it's just it's so different than being in the workforce,
Right.
So you're graduating. You've done the things that you needed to do. You had an internship at Essence Magazine. You had an internship at Newsday. So you've been able. You were executive producer on a show. You were editor of a blog. So you had so much experience in your area, as a journalist. So let's talk a little bit about. And I think this is important too, monetizing your skills. And we talked about this, right? We said it's important to monetize your skills.
Yeah.
So explain what that means to you and how you're going to go about monetizing your skill. So this is for students that are in college. You could be doing that right now. So what does that look like for students?
Well, not that long ago, there was actually like a week-long program series where they talked about freelancing.
Okay.
And freelancing in different types of realms, whether it's writing, whether it's doing logos, whether it's giving financial advice. So freelancing is a good way to make money for whatever profession you're doing, and you can start that in college.
Right.
So, and it's also important to know what you can freelance for. So you have to be able to identify what your skills are. Like, oh, I'm a good writer. I can write. If you can draw, like, oh, maybe I can do design. Maybe I can draw things for people. So figuring out your skills and figuring out how much people would pay to utilize your skills and benefit from those skills. So that's important. That's how you make money.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and you could do that, like you said, in college and beyond. And as I share with our children, you guys have a certain skill set. Right? What was that, Liam Nielsen's?
I have this particular set of skills.
Liam Nielsen. So,
Shut up.
so you need to use that to make money. Why wouldn't you do that? So,
Right.
another thing.
Starting early doesn't hurt.
And starting early does not hurt. Exactly. So I think that's great advice for students that are getting ready to transition into high school and beyond as well. The other thing that I thought was interesting before you graduated and you came home, you talked about living at home after you graduated, and what you said was, okay, I think I'm going to live at home for a year and whatever, and I'll be able to save money to be able to move out. So explain what that process is for kids to start thinking about that. And that's kind of long term for a student who's just going to college, but what are some of the things that they should be thinking about for the future?
Well, I think that you have to think about, it is, even if you're just entering college, you should have some kind of idea of what you want to do after. So if you don't want to live in your mama's basement for the rest of your life, start thinking about, ways to get out. So like
ways to get out.
So think, like, for me, like, I know that I had a safe and secure spot at home. Like, I knew the best thing for me to do was to go back home after college and save up, because, and I started budgeting. I'm like, if I have an internship at, let's say, $10 per hour by the time after I graduate, if I save up for X amount of months or a year and some change, I'll be able to afford last month in deposit for an apartment. So just thinking about, like, the types of jobs you can get and the types of income, just getting like an estimate of like where you think you'll be at. So like if you have a job and you say, like, let's say you think it'll be an income of like $28,000 a year.
Right.
Just budget and see how much, like, if I have this amount of time and I save up this amount of money, I can get this what I want, whether it's a car, an apartment, or whatever, in this amount of time. So just have an idea. It helps, plan
it
that
does
stuff
help.
out.
Planning the budget out.
Yeah.
And I really love that you talked about planning the budget out for when you graduate. What about the budget when you're in college?
See, you're just going to do that to me. Well, for me, it was kind of like, well, towards the end, they were sending me money. I'm not going to lie. But it does help to, like, especially like over the summer.
Yes.
My mentality, like, once you get into college over the summer, for me, it was like the summers are reserved for work.
Right.
That's the time when you do get your money. Like, because, in the summer, what else are you doing during the college time? So it's important to fill those summer months with some kind of income so you can have, some nice spending change when you go back to college.
Right. And preferably in your area that you're interested in. I mean,
right,
yours
preferably,
were internships,
Right, preferably in the area. But, I mean, if you can only, preferably it would be an internship. But if you have to work at Macy's, I mean,
You have to work at Macy's.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. If you want some spending money,
This is what you have to do.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So you're in the process of looking for jobs now. You're sending out your resumes and all of that. Can you give students who might be in the same situation you are information about where to look for a job?
Well, I've discovered recently this new website, new to me, meojobsonline.com. It's great. I love it. meojobsonline.com. Okay. It's great. It has it basically has all the major companies listed, and you can click on it and it directs you to their job page. So it's really a great way to commandeer all those companies, all those job listings into one spot. All the other sites like Indeed and Glassdoor, not my favorite.
I like ZipRecruiter. I thought ZipRecruiter.com was pretty decent.
Okay.
Because like you said, when you do Glassdoor and Indeed, it has a lot of junk.
Yeah, the filters aren't really that great.
Oh, okay.
Especially with the emails, when they send emails for new jobs, they're not.
They don't even match what you want.
They don't. No, they don't. Like, I apply, for media jobs. They send me a job for a babysitter. I'm like, really? Come on. That's not what I wanted to do, but okay.
That's terrible.
So
what advice would you, we talked a lot about a lot of different things today. What would be, is there anything that we didn't really touch upon that you would say is important for individuals going to college?
I would definitely say that, I will emphasize again, like I said before, there's less structure. So when it comes to tests and assignments, try to plan it out. Because if you don't, you'll leave all your assignments to the last minute, and then you'll be in the tech, in the library, or whatever, for the whole night. Club tech. You'll be up in club tech on the computers,
Right.
wishing you would have started earlier. So definitely try to plan ahead as much as you can.
Let me ask you a question. Did you, as a high school student, did you take the skills that you learned from high school and apply them to college?
So like when I was in high school, I took a lot AP courses, and that the hard work, honestly, I felt over prepared for some of the work that I did in college when it came to high school, because like there were a lot of long nights, and I got used to, you know, having to do that, having to grind, having to do that kind of work. So when I got to college, it was like, I'm used to this.
You were used to that,
So, yeah.
So planning out, like I think the big
Try to plan
takeaway
out,
is the structure.
Yes.
Not having that structure in place can lead to a lot of different things that might not be positive.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Structure and connections.
Yeah.
And build up your work. Build up your connections and build up your work in college, because that's what's really going to matter once you get out into that job market. For sure.
Exactly. And so we're hoping Miya will find a job soon.
I'm on my way. I'm getting there.
She's getting there.
Yes.
And you know what? The things that you've done in college and the experiences that you've had through the 4 years while you were in college have really, really benefited you. And I think, Daddy and I are like, we're not worried about Miya getting a job. She's going to get a job, because you really have built up your skill set. And I think you took it seriously. So if you're really serious about, getting a good education and getting into the workforce, the things that we mentioned today are key for you to get to where you want to be.
Definitely. Build up the connections and build up the work.
So I want to thank Miya for joining me today on Conversations with Verdel Jones, my baby. It's always a pleasure, to have her in studio, because, she's... one of the things that I really can't believe is, when Miya was a little girl, she was very, very quiet. She really didn't speak, only, not to say like only when she was spoken to, but it was, that was her personality. She really wasn't, she wasn't a talker, and didn't speak up a lot, but the woman that she has become and the way that she has blossomed, and she is a better networker than me. Miya will get it done. She will get it done. And networking is such an important skill. If you don't have it, practice in college, learn it, because it is so important.
Learn how to talk to people.
Learn how to talk to people. Yeah, she had to do this. Yeah, she had to, just jump in and do it, and she did it, even though she was a little, I don't think she was shy, but she just was quiet. Reserved, exactly. So again, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody for watching Conversations with Verdel Jones. We will be back next week. I think my co-host is going to be with me, Jeremiah. So we're looking forward to that. We also will be focusing on another company, and I'm excited about that. So with that being said, I want to wish everyone a good night. And again, thank you for watching Conversations with Verdel Jones.
Thank you all.